Mission for God. And today, I just wanted to go over today's messages. I watched two services today, and um, I was personally inspired, and I feel good about the rest of the week. I had a chance to relate um, men. I think more so men, in my opinion, I think are under attack. And they're under attack because there's a lot of men. I'm finding that there's a lot of men that are feeling unappreciated, uh, unloved, uh, just not wanted. And I know me personally, I can say that, you know, a portion of me felt that way. Um, I have had times where I have felt, let me make sure y'all can see me good. I have had times where I felt the same way. I felt like if if God was to take me today, who would care? Who would care? Like, who would miss me? I felt that way myself, and I had a chance to see someone, another brother, be vulnerable about that same feeling. And it goes to show you, like, no matter what position you're in, no matter how much higher you are than somebody else as far as position, I'm not saying better than somebody, but just in position in life, you still can have that feeling. You still can feel like, you know, unappreciated. Like, I've always been a type, like, I've always been a giver. Like, I give and give and give. I've given to the point where I had nothing. I had nothing, but I felt good about it because I felt like I helped somebody else out. And the problem with that was uh, the receiving wasn't sincere. The receiving was using, it was usury. You know, it was people knew that I was that type of person. So I found, and God revealed it to me, that people would ask me, knowing that I would say yeah, and have what they need, but they want to spend my money and take their money and do, you know, or their time or whatever the situation is, and do what they want to do with it, and just, you know, use me for what they can get out of me. And I was okay with doing it until God showed me what was going on. And I ain't gonna tell no lie. I felt hurt. I felt hurt. I felt disappointed. I felt betrayed. And then fast forward years and years later, you know, I find myself uh, at a standstill in life. I found myself at times throughout the years in need, and I couldn't go to anybody. You know, it's a hurtful thing. It's a hurtful thing. So it would put that question in your head. If I was gone, like, who would care? Who would care? You know? But I think I thank God for being there for me, for helping me, for listening to me, for encouraging me, because I've come a long way. Like, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I've come a long way, and I feel a little bit better about things. But you know, I'm human, just like that pastor said today. I'm still human, and a human in me has feelings. You know, and it's just sad how easy it is for people to walk and trample on your feelings, like as if it don't mean anything. Like, I personally, if I did something to someone by mistake, I'm I really feel bad. I would really feel bad because I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. Even if I have to, I don't want to hurt nobody. Like, I can give you an example. Once upon a time, I was a supervisor, and twice I was a supervisor. I'm gonna tell you, the first time I was a supervisor, my heart was so big that, I had workers, and I see that they was messing up, and I was told from high up that I need to handle that situation, and I would kind of, baby up the situation a little bit and tell them, man, hey, y'all better chill out or whatever like that. I wouldn't be firm on the situation, and by not being firm, guys can continue to do what they wanted to do. And guess what happened? It cost me my job because I didn't have heart enough to, you know, to tighten up and to let people know, hey, I'm a nice guy, but hey, you got to play by the rules, you know. But the first time, it cost me my job. It cost me my job not standing up and being firm about, what's what. Because I didn't want to hurt nobody. Even though it wound up hurting me. I didn't want to hurt nobody. I didn't want to make nobody feel bad. I didn't want nobody to be mad at me. Like, I went through a lot of years of that. And I had to be taught a lesson. And the lesson was me losing my job. That was the lesson. But, the next time around, I did things different. But of course, when being firm and straight up as a supervisor, you're going to have people that's not going to like you. That's my problem. That was my problem. I never wanted to have people not to like me. Even if they wrong as two left shoes, I didn't want people to be upset with me. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be friendly. But people was using and taking advantage of that. And, it don't do nothing but wind up breaking you down. And, but it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that, people were using me and taking advantage of my kindness and stuff like that. And guess what? Once I realized and actually got it in my head, and I started doing things differently, then everybody got ghosts. Why is that? Because they ain't had me to use anymore. Once they realize that they can't use you anymore, then they don't want to be bothered with you. So people just wasn't sincere from the beginning. They wasn't sincere from the beginning. That even more lets you know that it's just a game to them. It was just a game. They just wanted to use you to get what you had to offer. Once you wasn't offering that anymore, then they don't want to be bothered with it. But it's a life lesson. But then, fast forward into now, you still look back. And you think, like, where are these people that you cared so much for? Where is everybody? Like, when you're in need and when you need somebody to talk to, like, where's everybody? When you need support, not even money, just a friend. Where's everybody? Where's everybody? So it's understandable to have that feeling, you know. And I just wanted to speak on the service today, and also I wanted to give you all an example about something, about people that get thrown away. So let me tell you the story about uh, who is this? Joseph. This is the story about Joseph. Joseph brothers uh, basically casted him away because they were jealous of him because he was the favorite. But guess what? Let me read this. Joseph's brothers, specifically Reuben, initially had to return to their brother for help when famine struck. As Joseph, now powerful in Egypt, that brother that they cast away, thinking he was dead and gone and no more, he wound up being something bigger and better than they would have imagined. And then wow, guess what? They having to come back. But hold on, let me get to the story. All right. Now, powerful in Egypt was the only one who could provide grain. They needed him for grain, leading to their dramatic reunion and reconciliation as they sought food. Another key incident involves Jacob. Jacob, who after years away returned to reconcile with his estranged brother Esau, bringing gifts and humbling himself to avoid conflict, demonstrating a need to help in mending their broken relationship. So I say that to say this. The people that feel like they got you, God has a way of making them same people have to come around and need you. Now, the good Christian thing to do is to help them as best as you can. You know, I know a lot of people going to be like, well, that's what they get. They wasn't there when I needed them, and, you know, they left me and they used me and this and that and other. But sometimes the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the mission. What is my word I'm looking for? God will have them come back to need you. Well, them having to humble themselves and come back and ask the person that they used and abused is something that they'll have to deal with. I can't find my word. They're going to have to just the fact of having to humble yourself and go back and ask somebody that you took advantage of and that you used, like, for you as the person to reach and extend your hand out and help them, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. But them having to come back and ask you is, one, their punishment, and their humbling period. You know, because out of all people, they have to come and ask you, the main person that they pooped on along the way. That's their lesson to learn. So, but if you interfere with their lesson to learn by being hard-hearted and saying, I ain't giving them nothing. They wasn't giving me nothing. They wasn't looking out for me. They left me hanging. They left me high and dry. I got the means to help them. I ain't giving them nothing. They're not going to learn the lesson the way God wants them to learn that lesson. In fact, you still going to have some things to learn because you have turned yourself into a hard person and bitter and salty. You know, if you have the means to help someone, I ain't saying take from your bill money because I was foolish taking my bill money and giving it to other people. I ain't saying that. When God send them back to you, you're going to be well able to help them. When you do what God wants you to do and you help them, that's going to be their lesson. That's going to be their lesson. For them to have to humble themselves and come and ask the very person that they messed over, that's going to be their lesson to learn. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know why I couldn't find lesson. That's their lesson to learn. You have to allow them to learn their lesson by you being the better person, by you being the good person in the situation. Because if you sit there and shut them down and say, I ain't giving them nothing, then they're not going to learn that lesson. And you're not learning your lesson. So let me go on. All right, Joseph's brother in the famine. All right, the need. A severe famine forced Jacob's sons to travel from Canaan to Egypt to buy food. The brother. They encountered Joseph, whom they had sold into slavery years earlier, but they didn't recognize him. Joseph, now a high official, tested them. The request. Joseph demanded they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, to Egypt to prove they were honest men. Essentially asking for their brother's presence as a condition to help. Reuben even offered his own sons as security, as surety to assure Benjamin's return. All right. Then you have Jacob and Esau's reconciliation. The past. Jacob had stolen Esau's birthright and blessings, causing a deep rift. The return. Years later, Jacob returning to Canaan and was terrified Esau would seek revenge, seeking help for peace. Jacob sent elaborate gifts and humbled himself, essentially asking for peace and reconciliation from his brother, hoping to buy forgiveness and safety. Esau, in a powerful moment, embraced Jacob, showing forgiveness. He didn't have to give him nothing. So, my topic today still goes back to forgiveness. Forgiveness. We still have to forgive. Even when people leave us hanging, even when we help and look up and find out that people talking about you behind your back and backbiting and all this kind of nonsense is going on, and all you trying to do is help them, and that's what you get, you got to forgive them. You got to forgive them. And like I said in my last video, you got to continue to pray for people. You got to continue to pray for people. And you got to continue to pray for yourself. That God will fill you with grace and mercy and the power to forgive. Because forgiveness can be hard sometimes. And sometimes people don't make it easy. But you got to forgive people for you, not for them. You got to forgive them for you. You know, because you want to be whole. You want God to make you whole. So you can't have all that nonsense on you. You got to forgive and let God deal with them. Let God punish him however he feels the need to. You know, you have to forgive. So the service, I found, as I was feeling a little bit down this morning and I watched 2 programs, I found that it ain't no need to worry what tomorrow's going to bring. It'll be all over in the morning. Listen, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard things may be, no matter who might not be there that you expected to be there, no matter who stabbed you in the back, who took your position at work and threw you under the bus, however life may go, even if you up in life, whatever happens, it happens. It's going to happen. What God got for you, ain't nobody going to be able to take it. What God has planned for you, ain't nobody going to be able to block it. Remember that. When God is ready to give it to you, you're going to have it. You're going to have it. So no matter how much the devil try to fight and try to throw monkey wrenches in it, you're going to have what God have assigned for you to have. So as the Bible says, don't fret. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Don't be worrying. Because God going to work it out. And for those of us, men or women, that's feeling unloved, feeling like if we leave this earth today or tomorrow, nobody going to care, that's the trick of the enemy. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. They may not act like they care right now, but if God take you away from here, they going to care. It's just right now, a lot of people is consumed with themselves, with this, with that, this and that. They're not really focused and thinking about what's important in life or who is important in life. And I get it. A lot of, especially the young people, a lot of them, they're trying to make their own way in life. But people have to realize the things that's important. And I just only hope that they do realize the things that's important before God take them away. But for all of those people that feel that way, I want to tell you, I love you. I care for you. I care that you're here on this earth. And I want God to bless you. I pray that God bless you. And I pray that he bless you with people to come around you and that's going to love on you and really show you that it's important for you to be here. You know, I pray that God send you good, decent people to come into your life to make you feel special and important. That's my prayer for you. And that's all I got for this week. I said I'm going to start speaking on the Sunday service just to kind of, you know, reflect a little bit on how I felt. I watched 2 services and I'm going to shout the preachers out. And it ain't for no clout or nothing like that. Pastor John Gray and Pastor Keon Henderson. And it's funny. It's funny how God positioned me to be in the service today, because it was exactly what I needed. Like both of those services tied into each other, and it gave me hope, insight, and it confirmed the conversation that I just had. I just had this conversation about forgiveness, I just had a conversation about faith. What they said together with both of their programs, just tied it all up in a nice old package in a bow, and just let me know that what I'm doing is the right thing, and I don't need to have to worry about nothing because God is going to take care of everything. So that's all I got for y'all today. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of Sunday talk, a little bit of car talk today. I'm about to head on around here to the market. But I'll see y'all. I got something scheduled for Christmas Eve where I'm going to be talking about Yahshua, aka Jesus. So Christmas Eve, I'll be back with a little conversation about that. And that's it for now. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Till the next time, love, peace, and blessings to all of y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace out. God bless.